The COVID-19 pandemic has severely affected the Southeast Asian region. Indonesia has seen one of the worst outbreaks in Asia, with already over 140,000 deaths. In Malaysia, the outbreak has also seen waves of infections. Initially, the government was quite successful in its handling of the pandemic, despite ongoing political strife. So, what happened?
Because of a power struggle, the government is actually facing its struggle to actually maintain the coherence and the effectiveness of the measurements.
But one good thing that Malaysia has definitely done has been, in particular, its separation of bureaucracy and the political leaders.
The government structures, the public services also had contributed a lot to the success of what we had.
This initial success was later overshadowed by new waves of infections. Now that Malaysia is recovering, it is sure that the pandemic has had significant effects on the country's society and people. For example, how is it now for migrant workers in Malaysia?
The conditions, the treatment to migrant workers have been so deteriorating in Malaysia that COVID-19 actually reveals and surfaces all these underlying issues that we probably neglected all this while.
How are migrant workers so heavily affected?
One, because Malaysia is very dependent on migrant workers. And second, the implementation of policy has not been given much priority to them as much as the priority that are given to citizens.
If we look at the situation across the channel to Indonesia, do we see similar developments taking place?
In the case of Indonesia's labor migration, which are usually temporary in nature, the issues are not necessarily to be faced only by the receiving countries. One of the basic policy-related issues faced by the sending countries like Indonesia is whether to consider those returned home because of the pandemic as part of the society in general or as a particular group that requires specific policies.
If the situation is so different, do we then actually have a need for a global organization to take the lead?
So yeah, we do need a global framework as a reference for coordination. However, as the situation develops, we do realize that we need more specific responses, and it might depend on the situation in a region.
More on this topic will be discussed with expert speakers during our conference on November 4th, organized by the Konrad-Adenauer-Stiftung, Leiden Asia Centre, and IAFOR Research Center at the Osaka School of International Public Policy. Please join us there. See the description and link below.